Hey all, how's it going? Here we are, Friday night. Time to party hardy or paint. So let's see. I guess I'm gonna go with paint because it's a little late and party hardy and is just not something I do as much these days as I may have kind of sort of done in the past. Maybe, yeah, once in a while. I don't know. Maybe I've never been much of a partier, I suppose. I like parties, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's just not a common opportunity for me, Not a I don't hang out with a party hardy and sort. All right, so we're doing some monks. Um, let's see. I've got Frosthaven. I've got D&D monsters. I put my ogre mage on there, who's actually a monk, by the way. But reality is I gotta start doing some D&D PCs, D&D PCs, heroes. I don't know, what would they be called? Let's put a new one in, man. We're gonna call this one D and D. Characters. I don't know. Humanoids. Nah. Let's call them non-monsters. Heroes. They don't have to be heroes, right? Because sometimes characters look just like normal. They could look like heroes, could be played as heroes, but they're just not heroes necessarily, right? I mean, D&D characters. We'll just go with characters. Sure. Monsters can be characters too, but then again, characters can be anything. So we're gonna go ahead and say demon monk. They're like, well, you can't be a demon in D&D. That's not a character. Well, you can if you're a changeling. He's not actually a demon. He just looks like one. He's not actually a demon. He just looks like one in real life. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick starter pick with him. Give you an idea of said, no, that's not him. That's him. And then we'll go ahead and do the usual with that, where I take the miniature and go like that and edit, cut out the junk. This is actually my ultimate form monk character. He's a changeling, so I have him when he wants to really get into. Now his wings are ethereal. They're not real. They're astral form wings. They're not so. Don't get too hung up on the fact that my monk has wings. He can't fly. They just look like wings. They come out, they do a big smack. He can slap you upside the head with it, but it's not actually wings. He's pretty close to done, actually. He's got his base done. He's got a lot of stuff going on. It's pretty done. I don't know that I'm actually going to work on him. For me, it's doing something with the wings. And he needs some probably highlights in the muscles. Maybe I need to call those out a little bit more. And yeah, there's some stuff that could be done. I'm trying to figure out how best I could do anything. I have a hard time taking that next step. The step where you say, put a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that on there. Yeah, I don't know. He's fully painted, it looks like. Yeah, maybe not his mouth, I guess, but his teeth probably aren't even fully painted, even though they do look like they have paint on them. I'm struggling in my mind with what I can do to him. What are the highlight options for a guy like him? Then I have my changeling when he's capable and able to be a big honkin' ugly ogre monk. That's what he's gonna be. And he's got a lot of bits and pieces on that guy that needs to be dressed up. This is him when he wants to be a goblin monk. This is actually closer to his true to life size, by the way. This is him when he's he's got his rusted sword. So he's got it actually looks pretty good, I think, for a rusted sword. I kind of probably should touch up the edges just a tad more to give a little bit more blade, like he at least bothers to sharpen it, if nothing else. But it is a rusted sword. And I think it looks pretty good. It's got a very rustiness looking going there, so that was good. I'm not even sure how I did that, to be honest. I was like, what was I doing there? But it came out pretty good. Yeah. This is another one of those where I actually made the base off of just felt. Or I just thought off flex iron. So he's got a magnetic adherent base. I'm hot already. Alexa, turn off heater. Already hot, and I'm wearing 2 long sleeve shirts, so time to take one of them off. And it's stuck. All right. Hopefully I won't be as... And it's going to be freaking cold outside, so I'll be warm in no time. Or cooling off, I'm sure, as soon as that heat finds its way down here. What was I going to do? I felt like I was pulling away from the table for a reason. Oh, yeah, I was going to fix my camera. Hopefully it's a little better. So I don't have to hold it so high. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. So it'll be sharp and in focus when I've got it down to a normal height of usage. I have no idea what paints I've used along the way. The goal here is like I'm going to touch him up because he's got a spot on his pants, but that's about it. I don't know. I'm really kind of stumped on what I can do to make him better. There is something, and again, it's kind of like the skin on my beholder that I've been working on. There's something there to make him better. I just haven't figured out what it is yet. Well, it does kind of show that that's not exactly the same color. But I gotta figure out how to get it back into that realm, because I don't remember what colors I used. So, yep, nothing like trying to fix something that you painted forever ago. You're like, I don't know, man. What did I do? Can't use new colors, because I know they wasn't a new color, because I didn't have the new colors the time that I did it. I've been trying to figure out how to resort my paints, because I've got too many of them. They're overgrowing their containers. I've now got too many blues and purples for one container. And as such, now I'm not sure where to put all my paints. So I gotta get out another container, another X case, and see if there is any hope for me to... I still say I have a midnight blue somewhere, but I just don't know where it is. I got dark purple, but I still don't think that's it. I got real royal purple. That could have been it. I feel like I've used royal purple for something. I don't remember what it was. Oh dear. Nothing like trying to remember what colors you use on something. That looks like the right color, but it could be not. Could be not. Could be that I don't know what I'm talking about. I got lichen purple. This is more purple. Just getting those different. So you got royal purple and you got lichen purple, which is obviously a darker bluish purple, and then this is kind of. I mean, what makes things? You know, you're adding more black, get them darker, but you make them more red. You add more red to get them more purpler, and you add more blue to get them more bluer. I don't know. I don't know. Does purple ever look red? Yeah, I guess it can. If it's really red, it'll start showing red, but it is not a. Well, this color is just going down here because all I'm doing is painting the lid, because I want to see what color this is and I can compare in the future. Oh, this is way purple. Crazy, crazy way purple. Okay, there's that purple. That's lichen purple. And that is way more purple than I'm looking for. I mean, this is definitely purple too, but you can tell these are not the same. Well, actually, that one's pretty. This is bluer, there's no doubt. I'm gonna try this one. I think it was the royal purple. I'm hoping that it's closer to what I'm looking for. Actually, I think that's royal purple on the board right there, and it didn't prove to have the purple look I was looking for, but I don't know how to get it to that because I don't know what I used, man. I thought it was a dark blue of some kind, but seeing as I can't find a dark blue of some kind. Oh, nope. So much for my ability to move things sideways without. Violet, nope. Alrighty. Nope. Everything in here is purple, man. I got dark Prussian blue. Dark Prussia blue. Look at that. That's purple too. It's maybe a little bluer. Yeah, I guess it is a little bluer. And it is pretty dark. Maybe that'll work. I don't know what's going to be the right answer at the end. But this one doesn't even have the primer on there, man. How am I supposed to get any paint on it? I'll just have to reach in there some primer down. So I put primer in my bottom right corner here, just because I need to know when I have a primer on there and not white paint. Which is, hey, that's a common problem, man. You got white paint on the board and you're like, is that primer or is that paint? Now, probably doesn't always matter, but I think there are properties in a primer that make it adhere to the junk, right? To the plastic. And then there's primer, there's, and regular paint doesn't adhere very well. Okay, so let's, I went with dark Prussian blue, or at least I'm going to try dark Prussian blue. See if this can serve my purpose. Oops. Time to get out the paper clip. I haven't used this one long enough to. I really got to do something about sound, man. I got to put some sound in my ear or something. Sound in my ear, because it's so quiet. Without the fan even, it's just crazy quiet. All right. Let's see if this is any closer to what I'm looking for. Actually, when it dried, I can barely tell where I had it. But we'll see. Yeah, it's definitely bluer, but now I don't know if it's right either. So it's too blue. Alrighty. I mean, he doesn't have a ton of, I mean, his pants aren't huge, right? So, when he, there we go. Plus I'm holding him directly and I don't like doing that. So let's just do this. Let's see about this guy. Now, he has some pretty purple pants. He's a pretty purple pants player. So I'm gonna try and bring in a little bit more blue onto his color too. Just because I'm highlighting the purple with blue. Now, most Ninja would say, you're not picking a bright enough color. You're going to do the highlights, do it with something that you can see right away. That's hard contrast. And I get it, Ninja. I do. I really do. But I'm afraid of wrecking stuff with obvious highlights. Things that stand out to me stand out. I don't know. It looks great when he does it, but it's like, doesn't look that great when I do it. And if I use, like, it's like even using paints like this, I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm not completely convinced that. That's the way to go, man. He uses like, I mean, really, like he'll use like a light blue to highlight, and that's probably the best way. And I'm using this dark blue, very, very dark blue. I'm not sure even how it affects. Thing is, when you do it, you have to put it everywhere, because if you don't, people can see it. It's weird. It's like you can't see it if it's everywhere, but if you only have it in a little bit of places, you see it very clearly. So like, it does kind of bring out the color a little bit more. This guy's so heavy, man. I can really feel how it's pulling on my, where I have to hold tight with my. And sometimes the initial placement of this kind of paint is bright and obvious as it is. It dries a lot of times and you're like, oh, you can barely see it. Sometimes. Sometimes you can see it obviously, I don't know. Now I'm painting this guy, and he's going to get like maybe one time in his life a chance to come out, or at least as part of my monk. Guess he could come out as something I fight against, or I make some other people fight against. I won't mention anybody's name. He could come out as an enemy. Why not? I mean, no point in having him sitting in my... Now he's an ogre, though. Right now, I think as an ogre, as far as ogres go, I think ogres aren't considered all that tough, are they? I don't know what a challenge rating of an ogre is. I think in challenge, probably challenge rating is what, 4, 6? I don't know. I guess it depends on the ogre. I guess you could make him like king ogre or whatever, then he'd have a better challenge rating on. Ogre champion. Of course, as a DM, you can make him any size, any kind of challenge rating you want. He could be a mystical ogre god. So, really, I think in D&D, though, when you make a monster tougher, you could just give them, you give them enough health points that they get more than one turn is the goal, right? So no matter how hard they're hitting them, it's going to take a little time. Now, unless your guy is like susceptible to all their magic, and then he becomes like encaged in something, and then is just stupid. Trust me, the players have a way to wreck your game for you. They do. They always have like something. I'm gonna freeze him in a stone casing. It's like, okay. I think in that case, I'll just sit here and watch you kill him. How long does that last? Oh, long enough for us to kill him dead. How many hit points does he have? That's good enough that it'll last about 10 minutes before you finish him off. Because he's not immune to stone casing. I don't know. I mean, there's whatever, they find a way to freeze him up. It's like the party. I threw this last Thursday. I didn't even do it on purpose. I was like, the game told me I could throw this one character at the party at any time. Just kind of, this is a good random battle, and I'm like, all right. Well, they were in a place where it was one of those infernal machines kind of battles, and I was thinking, well, I don't know when I'll throw this at them, but hey, let's do it now. This is something good. They're just kind of wandering around down here, and I'll just kind of have this battle show up. Now, they were going into this forest area, and they couldn't take their own infernal machines. They had to park them outside because there wasn't any room to drive the machines into this forest. Well, while they're walking to a different entrance, because they found the one that they were at was a dead end, so they had to come back out and start walking around. Well, this demon guy who's got his own infernal machines, he leads a squad of hobgoblins. Came after him. They saw him, and they were like chasing him down. So they kind of ran for a door, but they rolled really low. I had them, rolling athletics checks to get around the corner and get into safety, but they were rolling very poorly. A lot of them were, not all of them, but enough that they ended up having to stop. And they did get away from him, kind of, but the demon, of course, they stopped their infernal machines, got out, and pursued him into the forest. Now, this guy is a horned devil. And it said that they were all the cars were loaded up. They had a full crew of hobgoblins and hobgoblin captains and a hobgoblin warlord, and this horned devil was the leader of the band. And I was like, whatever, I'll just break them up. So they went in after him, and there was a fork. So I had half the band go one way and the other half the other. And then I just said, all right, I'm going to split it up randomly. I'll just kind of say who goes one way. And I said, all right, so we'll roll here. This is for the demon, the horned devil. And this is for the captains, and this is for those. And then I said, the other 7 will go the other way. Well, 2 captains and the horned devil, along with 3 hobgoblins, regular ones, all went the same direction in pursuit. And I said, all right, well, that's good, whatever. They'll fight them. And they very nearly TPK'd. For one thing, the hobgoblins rolled terrible. And it's good for them because the hobgoblins literally, I don't think in the entire battle ever hit anything. They missed every time against everybody they rolled against. They just missed. And the devil missed a couple times at the beginning too. Now keep in mind, this devil, he gets attacked 3 times, and he's got a +10 to his attack roll. So +10 is pretty insane. I mean, that nobody's, they're the characters on the team that had a 18, 19, 20 defense. That's not that hard to hit when you have a +10 to attack. So they were. He started hitting, and a couple times he went nuts. One time he double critted, and it was just bad. So he didn't kill anybody outright, but he took out multiple characters who kept getting up because the team kept, trying to heal them and res their guys back up. And that was buying them a little bit of time. But this guy has a ton of hit points. And by the time, seeing as the hobgoblins basically never hit anything, the one member of their team went in to basically distract him and was fighting with him toe-to-toe for a bit. While the rest of the team was trying to take out the hobgoblins and not having too much trouble with them because, again, they weren't fighting back. And so ultimately, they got down the hobgoblins, and then the devil, of course, having taken out the one person who was with them, knocking her out, he came out to fight with the rest of them, and he was just wreaking havoc. But they were finally starting to do some damage. They were getting their hits on him, and I was like, oh boy, this is not good. And I was like, this is really going bad, because they weren't doing much. They were knocking him down a little bit at a time, but eventually they kind of got him down into his own. We're like, well, at least they're doing something. He's in the wounded zone, and maybe, you never know. So and I was like really worried because I didn't really want a TPK. But I wasn't sure how I was going to not TPK, because he wasn't really missing every time anymore. He was hitting, and when he hit, it was painful, and yeah, he was wrecking them. And so I was like, oh no, what's happening? They slowly go slowly and further, closer and closer to the end, and they finally get him. And it's like they're all like tapped out. They have no more stuff. actually, everybody's conscious. Well, two of them were down, but they had been healed so that they didn't die during saving throws. Although one of them was close, got to two failed saves, and but they managed to keep him up. Everybody survives the battle, right? So they come out of there, and like, oh, okay. So everybody, I was thinking, man, that was way tougher than I expected it to be. So just so there's a thing on D&D and Beyond where you can go ahead and put in a it's called the encounter builder or whatever. So you just put in all the monsters that you want to have in the combat, and it'll kind of rank it for you and tell you, okay, so this is what level it is, how much experience it's probably worth, how difficult is it for the party. So you just kind of say how big is the party and how big are the characters you have in the party. And so just for fun, they said, you know what, I'm going to put this in here and see what exactly, how tough was this thing. Okay, so it also does one other thing, this encounter builder. It will kind of tell you a daily allotment too. So like if you're, say the party's 100% healthy, they just woke up. They said they could probably fight this. It gives you this daily encounter thing that says if they're fully rested, this kind of a party could probably fight about this much experience worth of monsters. Okay, for a whole day. And that's assuming, if they have multiple encounters, how much can you drive, have them go at before they, before they're kind of tapped out. And they were pretty tapped out when this battle was over by, having used up most of their repertoire of spells and such. And so I said, I'm going to stick this in here. So their daily allowance for basically 5, there's only 4 of them, but they have 1 NPC with them. So for 5 level 6 characters was about 20,000 experience. So this is with just throughout the entire day. Now, keep in mind, they had actually encountered other things prior. This was by far the hardest thing they've encountered in the day, probably ever. And but when I put all the things in that they fought, the 2 hobgoblin captains, actually just putting in the main character, the Horned Devil, was considered a deadly battle. Deadly, like the kind of thing that a party of their size might very well die just fighting him. Nothing else. That's what deadly is. It's supposed to be like, pretty unlikely that the team would win. And this wasn't just deadly. This was like deadly plus some. Like they could maybe do, I think, 7,000. This was like 7,700, which is quite a bit more. And then it had 2 hobgoblin captains and a bunch of hobgoblins who were actually pretty tough. And it made it to like, I think the whole thing, when you count all the things, the multipliers and stuff they put in, considering, action economy and how many times these guys get to attack. And they kind of calculates all that in. So the bigger the battle is, the more difficult it is in addition to. So like, if you put 100 goblins in, that's considered a really tough battle, even if they're considered super weak, because it's hard to kill 100 goblins in the time that they find enough ways to hit you and possibly kill you. So, I mean, even fireballs aren't going to hit all 100 of them, right? They're only going to be able to hit, a handful of them. And you're still going to be fighting boatloads of them. So you're going to be throwing all your biggest spells, trying to clear them out so that they don't finish you off. And so, yeah, even a bunch of them are going to prove to be pretty tough, even if individually they're nothing. Well, this was a lot of guys that had potential to be fairly damaging. They're just, like I said, the hobgoblins were missing everything. And ultimately, I put it in, this one battle was worth 18,000 of their daily experience. It was insane. Their daily quota of battling. I was like, how did they survive that? It's like it was just a whole lot of luck, really, is what it was. The fact that they weren't getting hit back by the hobgoblins, so they were kind of fresh when the devil came out to fight with them. They got some shots in. He missed a few, But he knocked a lot of guys down and was really making a lot of characters unhappy. I mean like they were unhealthy, kind of unhappy. Not like the players were mad or anything, but I was like, they don't realize what kind of a bullet they dodged, man. Because this thing had the potential to totally ruin their day. Could have been the final fight, the final fight of the campaign for that group. But nope, they pulled it off, man. Kudos. My son would say, "You pull punches." Every time a battle looks like it's going down the toilet for them and they somehow survive, he thinks I pulled punches. And I've pulled a few punches here and there, but I don't think I've ever pulled enough to totally sway a battle. You know, they still end up outgunning the few little things I've done. Ultimately, I'm a bad roller. A lot of these monsters are cursed by me as their DM. Their days are numbered simply by having me rolling their dice. There's some. It's like when I want them to roll good so that I can at least make the battle interesting, they refuse to do it. And then when I want them to roll bad, because I don't want a TPK, that's when they start throwing in some terrible rolls. So they're like, killing everybody. Stop it. But yeah, so it was a good fight though. It was fun. I thought it was fun. It was a dangerous fight though. And I don't know if I would. I go, this was way tougher battle than I expected. And I go, but now that I know you, but now that I know you can take it, they're like, keep in mind we were pretty fresh then. It was like, yeah, that's like no. It's like, oh no, now I know what you guys can handle. I'm no longer afraid of throwing rather large characters at you. You've proven your power, and now I can take the gloves off. Actually, they've had some close calls. They've had a couple of near TPKs that I wasn't really intending to put them through, but it just happened. Some of these, this is actually kind of a hard campaign they're going through, I think. All right, so let's do the other thing I need to do on this guy. Just add another layer of stuff. But I gotta also add my white ink to his gray robes, which are actually supposed to be like so let's see here. White. Not holy white, just regular old white. It's kind of funny I have black ink, which is really what, just a wash? I mean, again, maybe not. I mean, washes and inks are kind of close. They're both very thin, but I think inks are supposed to go down more evenly, so they don't necessarily fill the cracks in it. It might make a decent wash if you apply it like an applied wash, which means you're not just dumping it all over the character. You're actually putting it where you want it. And if you do that, an ink might work pretty good because it's going to let the other colors through nicely. But it's also going to put a pretty decent coat over whatever else it shows. It is kind of translucent though. It is this thing. Let's see if it's a little bit more targeted. Oops. Alright, maybe that'll work. Let's see how much white that pulls off. It's a little, it might be a little too big, to be honest, because I'm going to have trouble getting down where I want it to be. Yeah, I'm going to have to use a more targeted one. This is too, I'm going to end up getting it where I don't want it if I try to get it everywhere. Bummer. Alright. Go with a smaller dry brush. More targetable one. It's just the bristles are just a little too wide on this guy yet. Thought the spots were pretty big, but I guess they're really not. Alrighty. I should put on a TV show or something, huh? Something in my background so I can hear some sound. Something to distract my brain. The TV watching part of my brain. Which is like, I don't know what to do with myself. There's nothing to do with art. All right, let's see here. Let's see if this works for my purposes. Nope, it's not the one I want. Never mind. Don't want that. Let's go with... Let's see what's good here. I don't even think I have Pandora hooked up. Should I listen to Christmas music? Not that you know, I can't let you hear what I'm doing, so sorry. I'm not allowed to share my listens with you guys because we all know how Twitch and what is that? How do I do that? Alright, I guess unrestricted. Okay. Now I have to make this play out my headset because it's being dumb. I'll tell you what, every now and then I'll break out into song so you know what I'm listening to. But it has to be something this way I have to be something I don't totally feel like I'll torture you completely and totally with the sweet sounds of my vocal musings. You're like, no, anything but that. Alright, which one was I using a minute ago? Is it this one? Yeah, must have been that one. It's a big difference between those, that's for sure. Alright, well, this is a tiny, tiny one, but it's almost like it's barely even a dry brush. But maybe it'll fatten up when I get some water on it. I feel like... All right, so I'm sorry, I think I'm going to try to do this with me keeping it on the... It's not that easy to keep adding color here. And this is metal, so this is really beaten up on the brush. But it's a dry brush, so that's kind of what its life, purpose in life is, but still. Now, theoretically, you could dry brush everything, right? With white, because it'll just make everything lighter. But the thing is about using a tiny brush is not only does the paint run away faster, it does fit into those cracks and crevices that you don't necessarily want covered in. You don't want the bristles to go in, but it's not always that easy just to avoid. This is why dry brushing, like anything, is literally an inexact action. It's just hard to get it to be exactly the way you want it. And then you have to kind of go back over those areas that may have gotten it not exactly as you wanted it. See, and then since you have to go back and forth, oftentimes in wider motions, it's not unusually, it's not totally unlikely that you just get it where you don't want it. No, it's not too bad. It's kind of doing what I wanted to. It's maybe not as bright as I would like, so I might have to do another round of it. But it does seem to have lightened up the gray quite a bit. I'd like it to be more white. It might even be better. It would be hard to paint this white. It's like, it's a lot of little tiny things. It would take a really long time. So this is kind of this might have to be the shortcut I'm forced to take. I'm trying to be precise with my dry brushing. It's like that's not exactly a great thing to be having to do. Trying to be precise with dry brushing is like not exactly an ideal scenario. Alrighty, so we just keep plugging away here. Well, I think this guy's actually getting kind of well. All right, he's mostly done in the bulk form. He's got little details to be worked out yet. Yeah. All right. So I gotta do something with whatever those rings are on his arms. Maybe brass as well. What is that thing dangling off of his chest? It's kind of gross, but I think that's actually like piercing. Because it seems to be coming right out of his stomach. Gross. Weird. It looks like it's like coming off of his stomach right there. I gotta do something with his hair. I don't know if I want to go black or red or goblin hair. It could be goblin hair. Could be what? Or ogre hair. Be blue. Black would make him look younger. Do we want young looking ogre dude? And what the heck does he have coming out of his chest here? Is that like another bag of some kind? He's got it like tucked into his shirt. Hands off my shoulders. Than you. I don't know what he's got in his backpack, but it's a lot of stuff. I should probably put some stuff in his, put something on his backpack, huh? Let's put some, what is a good wicker color brown? Like driftwood? Or should I go with a little bit more yellowish color? Like a sand or something. No, I'm visualizing something more yellow than that even. I'm thinking like what's a good, a flesh? No, my brain is having trouble tracking down the color. Maybe a green? Like a malignant, like a crusader. That's pale reddish brown. I don't think that's what I want. Well, actually, that might work. Could work for a basket. Why not? I still feel like the color in my mind is more of a yellowish tan. Yeah, demonic yellow. These just don't feel like the right colors. I'm struggling to find it in my head what I want. My brain is like, it's not right. I think it's going to take two colors to make my head happy. All right, we're going to try something. Oh, what about an ink? Do I have an ink? How about a demonic yellow? I'm going to do this. This is going to be a two-color effort, I think. I'm going to coat it one time, one layer of demonic yellow, and then I'm going to go over it with another color, like maybe a brown or some other wash, or even a contrast paint of some kind, and we'll see what that does. Alright, so this one, yeah, I think it's good. I'm basically basing it with a yellow so that when I go over it with a more tan color, it shines through, or the yellow comes through, because obviously it's just going to make the yellow brown or whatever. So just make it that more bright. And he's got this weird turtle on his back, which is such a weird, I don't know, a weird addition. I don't even know. Is he a turtle? It must be a turtle because he's got a weird head too, and he's holding on for dear life. Like maybe the guy doesn't even know he's there. Just going for a ride. He's just hitched a ride on this ogre monk. Go. I remember music used to make me smile. And I knew that if I had a chance, I could make those people dance, and they'd be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every paper I delivered. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride. Something touched me deep inside the day the music died. Bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." You write the book of love, and you have faith in God above. Maybe the Bible tells you so. You believe in rock and roll. Can music save your mortal soul? And you teach me how to dance real slow. You know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. Both kicked off your shoes. And I dig those rhythm and blues. I was only teenage bronc and buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck. I do, but I was out of luck the day the music died. And bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." 10 years I've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone. That's not how it used to be. Just a sang for the king and queen on a coat he borrowed from James Dean. His voice came from you and me. So I have no idea what the heck those sticks are in there. I don't know. They're holding up his, whatever he's doing, he's holding them down. Are they weapons? What the heck are they? And it's just like a black mass of goo in there. I don't know what the heck that is. It's like, it's obviously just a blob of metal, but I don't know what's supposed to be in there, to be honest. That's not the color I want, but I wanted that as a base so that I can go over it with another color to bring it to more what I do want it to be. So what I want, the question is now, what is the color I want over the top of that? Because I want it to be kind of a, thinking a leather brown? It's got to be a thin leather brown. You know what? I'm going to go with something weird. I'm going to try my wasteland brown. Oh, this is Gorgon brown. I don't even know what Gorgon brown is. That's not even ink. That's just game color. I don't know what that is, but that's like a really brown color. That's a new one I just got. So here's the one. I'm going to do this. I don't know what this is going to look like, but we're about to find out. This is my new favorite brown, only because I love the way it works on most things when acting as a leather. And because it's called Wasteland Brown. And this stuff, you put it over a white and it makes your, like a white or a gray, and It's amazing. I mean, it really is. It's just downright amazing. For the way it just makes leather look worn and beat up without the stenciling piece. It's just really good. So I would recommend Wasteland Brown to anybody who wants to get nice looking leather. Nice looking worn leather. If you're going for worn leather, if you want leather to look brand new, probably not the best one. On the stage, my hands were clenched in fists of rage. No angel born in hell could break that Satan's spell. Live going up to the night, just like the sacrificial rite. Satan laughing with delight the day the music died. Pie, pie, Miss American Pie. Drawn my savvy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." And a girl who sang the blues, I asked her for some happy news. And she just smiled and turned away. Down to the sacred store where I heard music years before. The man there said the music wouldn't play. In the streets of children screamed, flowers cried and the poets dreamed. The word was spoken. The church bells all were broken. Three men I admire most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. They caught the last train for the coast. The music died. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. First shove it to the levee, but the levee was dry. Just drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." Bye, Miss American Pie. Levee, but the levee was dry. Good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die." Yeah, I think that looks like a basket now. Might be a tad bit more yellow than I want, but I think I could probably deal. I mean, that's the color of a basket. I mean, I could go with a darker brown, I suppose, but boo. That's not fun. Brown basket. I mean, I guess that could be worked, but... Oh, all right, take a moment and get a drink of something. It's just water, but it's better than nothing. What time is it? Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Well, if I want my day tomorrow to not be too screwed up, I probably can't stay up too much longer. All right. I need to probably put something on the base of this guy. Now there's another guy here that I got to get painted too. He's my my Dragonborn monk. He's got his eyes. He's kind of got the vest going. He probably could use a little bit more purple in his pants though, because they're not as blue as the others. Not as purple. Wild thing, I think but I wanna know for sure. Come on and hold me tight. You move me. How come every time I shut that one falls out? Okay. So I got Imperial Purple, which does not belong on that row. And I've apparently got my Adamantium. Black Indigo. Huh. I don't see my Adamantium anywhere here. Where do I put it? Scorched and Skeleton Key and Cursed Gold, but no Adamantium. Where the heck? Or not Adamantium, but Gunmetal. Gunmetal Blue is what I'm looking for. And it seems to have vanished. The violets. Huh. Sometimes I wonder where the heck did I manage to put something. Gothic Crimson, which is on the red, of course, that's where it belongs. Various greens. Oh, there's Gunmetal. How did I end up way down there? Alright. Oh, I didn't hit the timer on that. Bert Darnies. That's actually not the one I'm working on, though. I didn't actually do anything on the other one, really. I probably put him in for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We'll say 20. Then I switched over to this guy again. I'll have to add probably an hour to him. Alright. There's one thing, you're going to keep track of time. You probably should actually start it when you start. Now, he's got kind of sparkly bits in his robes and stuff. That's why I'm using gunmetal. I don't want to spend too much time more. I really do have to hit the hay if I don't want tomorrow to be too screwed up. Because I got to get up early and, paint some more or do something more before we go play D&D tomorrow. So. Yeah, I like that color better. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. The engine softly creeping, while I was sleeping. They planted in my brain still remains. The sounds of silence. I walk alone. There's a cobblestone. It's like, that's got to be annoying, huh? To have all your pants. I need a pair of pants, please, with a giant hole cut out the back so my tail will fit. Thank you very much. I will pick those up first thing tomorrow. Do you have to go? They have the big and tall section. They have the tail section. You have to go back into the tail section, sir. It's the only place we carry clothes for you. You're like, oh, I see. It's segregation. No, sir. Your clothes are cut out to have room for tails. It's not actually in the back of the building, sir. It's actually right up there by the front door. Oh, sorry about that. I know silence like a cancer blow. How I think you, I might reach you. Silent raindrops fell. Silence. Bound and pray to the neon god they made. It's warning. It's warning. Sounds and the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls. Tenement hall. The sound of silence. Well, I got his pants to the right color. Now I just need to, I don't know, do other stuff. So I'm giving him this tan color on his body. It's meant to be a fleshly color, as he's really not a dragonborn. So it's like the flesh color of his skin is coming through, even though he's kind of blue. But it's like he's not a, he's a changeling. He's got to adjust accordingly. Let's put some slop. I know it's 1207, but I'm going to slop some color on this bottom part because I think I want to cover it up with some grass. I want to make it mostly grass, which means I got to get some color underneath it. So let's go with, I don't know, a brown of some kind. Let's go game color brown. That's actually probably not going to be much different than what he's already got there, but I want it to be, it's actually, let's go with a blackened brown, actually. Yeah, that's better. Because I want it to look like soil, kind of along the lines of like a dirt. Because once I put grass over it, it's just going to be the soil under the dirt, right? I'm going to cover it up with grass. It's going to be all grass. It's going to look like there's no soil. But when you can see underneath it, it's going to be grass. It's good, healthy grass with good, healthy soil underneath it. Thing is, this is quite a bit. It's going to have to be quite a bit because it's a big base and it's going to soak up a lot of paint. Oh. Jeez. That was that is significantly. It wasn't plugged all the way, but it was enough that I probably would have popped the lid if I'd kept squeezing it. We don't want any accidents. When the paint is resisting your desire to make it come out, then you need to unplug it some. I'll get my I don't care brush for this. Mostly I want the light. In this case, I just need light because it's kind of hard to see. Oops, got on his feet. Oh, he's got some rocks down there too. I guess I'll have to change the color of that. Maybe I'll do a dry brush of tan over the top of this first. To make it look like it's soily is drying up a little bit, and then I'll put the grass over it. obstacles in my way. A cloud that let me down. Gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Make it now, rain is gone. My feelings have gone away. Those I've been searching for. Sunshiny day. I can see how, when you're putting down stuff like this, it really can mess with your brush. You gotta keep it very wet if you want to get in all of the cracks and crevices, and just running over all this stuff with a brush is just rough on the brush, man. So once I put the grass down and do a quick wash over the top of that, it'll look pretty good. It's going to be, like I said, he's mostly going to be standing in grass. It's just, I'm putting down the soil now. The soil is going to be under the grass. Got to be healthy grass, I don't want the grass dying underneath him. Oh, he's walking around barefoot, man. Don't want this guy to hurt his feet. Come on, people now. Smile, your brother. Everybody get together. One another right now. This razor here is a dull one. It's not cutting. Trying to cut these bad bristles off, but it doesn't want to actually penetrate the bristle. It's like they aren't super hard, man. This ain't Superman I'm cutting through. I mean, it's a bad thing, but I don't need bristles that are like going off in all directions, because that doesn't make it easier, that's for sure. I mean, you can't really recondition a synthetic brush. It's just, that's why I'm using it for that. It's my crappy brush. Like I said, it's unlikely this guy gets to play tomorrow anyway, so he's probably not going to have to worry too much. About the possibility of not being finished when he goes into play. I try together, try to love one another right now. There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun. It's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. Mother was a jailer. He sold my new blue jeans. Mother was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Well, I'm about ready to wrap up here, I think. I do think I'll be back to do some more painting in the morning, though. We're not going to go play D&D tomorrow until like 2 o'clock. All right, let's record some colors, shall we? So we're going to do this color, and we're going to do, we didn't use that color, but I did use this color, and we used that, oh, we already have that one on there. And we have my good old-fashioned, that color. What the heck? What is here? Why won't that stay up there? Oops. It is not. Got it to scan before. I don't know why it like wants to, why it refuses to scan it. Huh. It really does not want to get my wasteland brown again. No, it's not, man. It's having a problem with scanning that too. Fine, I won't put wasteland brown in you. It won't be a butt. Okay. I know it's a thing. I know it can scan it. It's done it before, but for some reason, not right now. Okay. I think that's it for now. Did I not put my gunmetal blue in there? Oh, I don't think I did. Oh, there it is. Nope, it is on there. Never mind. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I put my yellows, put my browns. And I think, yeah. That's it. Well, it's all the ones I can put on because it won't take wasteland brown. Okay, that's, I think that's it for now, troops. That would be, I don't know what if, I lightened up his outfit. I'm trying to figure out what I did that was different. I do know my light's dying here, though. I'm just trying to see how he looks different. Sometimes it's kind of cool just to look at the... Alright, so... time for me to hit the hay so that I can actually get up and do more in the morning. So that I'm not totally trashed on the day and I have some energy and I can go ahead and be productive. I may have to clean up some of these dudes too. I have a bunch of hobgoblins out here. Why, you say? Because I just played with a bunch of hobgoblins that weren't painted and it was really disappointing. Actually, I think I have painted hobgoblins. I just didn't want to look for them yesterday, so I went to my pile of hobgoblins. So that was probably my own fault that they weren't painted. I think I probably do have some somewhere. So anyway, we will get all my things plugged in so that they're ready for fully charged work tomorrow. And then we'll sign off and we'll see what's going on for the plans tomorrow. I don't know. I'd like to do a Frosthaven, but that may have to be a Sunday thing, maybe. Oops, did I drain this out? I think I may have killed my battery. Heck, man. Well, I'm trying to see if I can not pull my lenses off the table, but somehow I manage to get these all tangled up somehow. I don't know how I do it. Cords are like hangers, you know, they just tend to multiply. Cords are like snakes, actually. They tend to be capable of tangling themselves. No matter how much you organize them, if you don't like put a cord control thing on them, they will find a way to tangle each other. Even if you have them perfectly, gosh dang it. You could have them perfectly arranged so that they're not overlapping in any way, but they will find a way to become problematic. What I really should do is just use this. And then they don't have to be all down here causing me pains in my side, pains in my rear. Okay, I think I got it, finally. Arg. Cords are one of those necessary evils, you know? You know, people deal with them, they have to, because if you don't, you know, you just can't have charged stuff. That's why we can't have charged stuff, man. And if I do this right, I think it's possible. I never have to have these tangle up again. So let's see what happens when I do it right. One problem is one of my cords here is like a 6-foot, 10-foot cord. And it's just probably not ideal to be down there in the first place. It's got a nice durable cord, but so I was watching a video on the difference in cords, like between the USB-C that Apple makes and like the one that Amazon Basics makes. It's very basic. And surprisingly enough, there's a huge difference between cheap cords and expensive cords, and I did not know that. It was a learned experience for me. You know, I don't even have a working airbrush right now, so I don't even know why I have this up here, but Well, there's a bummer. It won't even charge right now, so I may have to wait till tomorrow. Because I don't really want to sit around waiting for it to get enough juice that I can plug it in. And you're saying, why do you use a battery to charge your stuff? Well, good question. Because it's convenient. Maybe not the best, but it's definitely convenient. And this one totally unraveled. You're like, what are you doing, man? This is not a stream. This is not a thing. What are you doing? It's like, I'm sorry. I don't want to bore you, but cord control is... Hey, if you're going to be a streamer, you got to have cord control because you're going to have crap everywhere. That's just the way it is, man. This is the life of a streamer. You're going to... Everything's going to have cords, and cords are going to be coming out your ears, and you're going to have nightmares about cords. Okay, maybe you won't have nightmares about cords, but you're going to have to learn the art of cord control. And maybe someday, if you're lucky, the cords will be with you. Well, it's not pretty, but it's better than it was. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can't do it that way. Because it doesn't want to power on my... I have a hub here I'm trying to get to turn on, but it's like, I don't want to do that. Huh. All that work, and I may not be able to use the hub. It doesn't want to turn the hub on. There's a light on the hub, so I should know when it comes on, but it could be that it's just not charging, or it's not charged up enough to produce any output, but I don't know. But anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. Have a good one. Till tomorrow.